Well, I never thought this would happen, but it did. Last week, I was listening to the Washington Capitals New York Islanders game on satellite radio and got to hear history being made. Alex Ovechkin scored on the power play, giving him 895 goals in his career and surpassing the legend himself, Wayne Gretzky, on the NHL's all-time scoring list. Like I said, I never thought I would see that happen. I thought Gretzky's record was unattainable. Kind of like how people thought back in the day Lou Gehrig's consecutive game streak was unattainable until Cal Ripken broke it. Or like people used to think Babe Ruth's all-time home run record would never be broken until Hank Aaron did it. In fact, he did it 51 years ago this week, and if you can believe it, he did it off a classmate of my dad's from Trenton High School in New Jersey. Yup, my dad and Al Downing went to the same high school back in the late 50s. Anyway, big time congrats to Alex Ovechkin. What an accomplishment. Great ceremony put on by the NHL to honor him after that goal, and Wayne Gretzky was on hand, showing a mega amount of class, praising Ovi for breaking his record. Honestly, it's not surprising that Gretzky showed a lot of class in a situation like that. That's just kind of how he is. So now, that begs the question. Now that Alex Ovechkin is the NHL's all-time leading scorer, can Wayne Gretzky still be considered the great one? And my answer to that is yes. Now, why do I say that? Well, you look at some of the stuff that Gretzky did back in his prime. You got 11 straight seasons with 100 or more assists, 4 times 70 goals or more in a season, and the most Alex Ovechkin ever got in a season was 65, a 9-time Hart Trophy winner. That's the NHL's MVP. Ovechkin, he's won that trophy 3 times. Gretzky also helped Edmonton win 4 Stanley Cups, while Ovechkin led the Caps to just 1. Gretzky's also far ahead of Ovechkin in career points, which for the uninitiated in hockey, that's the combination of goals and assists. Gretzky has 2,857 points in his career, the most all-time in the NHL, while Ovechkin stands at 1,620. And now, don't get me wrong here. I am not belittling what Alex Ovechkin did. I'm not poo-pooing all of Alex Ovechkin's accomplishments in his career. Breaking Gretzky's all-time goal-scoring record, that is phenomenal, and it deserves nothing but praise. In fact, Ovi, he has 42 goals this season at the age of 39. So he probably has a couple of more good years left in him and can really shatter Gretzky's record. But to me, you look at the overall picture with Gretzky, and even if he's now number 2 behind Ovechkin in goals, he is still the great one, especially since he's someone who transcends hockey. Kind of like Michael Jordan transcends basketball. Even if you aren't a basketball fan, you know who Michael Jordan is. Same where if you're not a hockey fan, you still know who Wayne Gretzky is. Unfortunately, I think if you go up to some normies who only have a casual interest in sports or any kind of interest in sports, and you say the name Alex Ovechkin, well, it'd be like that scene where the Kree warrior from the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie, when he confronts Star-Lord, he says, "Who?" So all that aside, Ovechkin will be considered one of the best to ever play the game. I'm sure they've already got a spot for his plaque picked out at the Hockey Hall of Fame in Toronto. But in my eyes, Wayne Gretzky is still the great one for his combination of record-setting accomplishments, championships, and how he overall just elevated the sport. Still, no doubt, Ovechkin breaking Gretzky's record has garnered more attention for hockey, kind of like the Four Nations face-off did a couple months ago, and that's always a good thing because, let's face it, out of the 4 major professional sports leagues in North America, NHL always seems to be the proverbial redheaded stepchild. So any kind of attention we can get for the NHL, that is great. Now, unfortunately, because it's current year, someone has to come along and inject politics into all that. And that someone is one of the best goalies in NHL history, Dominik Hasek. Not the best goalie in NHL history, because that would, of course, be the great Martin Brodeur. But Hasek, still one of the best. So anyway, on Dominik Hasek's official website, he posted an article, and this was prior to Ovechkin breaking Gretzky's record. So he posted an article about Ovechkin's pursuit of Wayne Gretzky's record, and here are some of the comments that he made. Quote, "This historical milestone is approaching at a time when the country of which this Russian hockey player is a citizen has been waging an imperialist war against a sovereign democratic country, Ukraine, for more than 3 years. In this context, it should be noted, again, that every citizen, unless he is a dissident who condemns the crimes of his country, is always, without exception, an advertisement for the actions of his country. That is simply a fact. Therefore, in the case of Russian citizens, every athlete who gets the opportunity to perform publicly is the best advertisement for the Russian imperialist war and all the crimes against humanity associated with this war. If someone advertises this terrible war, it automatically means its escalation and many more people killed and maimed. Unfortunately, it is the NHL that provides this advertisement for insane atrocities," end quote. And I have to vehemently disagree with that. Yes, Alex Ovechkin's country is at war with Ukraine, but Alex Ovechkin did not order the Russian army to invade Ukraine. He's not leading Russian forces against the Ukrainians. The dude is just a hockey player who has nothing to do with Russian policy. Who knows if he even supports the invasion? And I've heard a few stories that this war is not very popular among the Russian populace. And with an estimated 172,000 Russians dead and more than 600,000 wounded, and right now seemingly no end in sight, it's easy to see why this wouldn't be so popular among the general public in Russia. But as for speaking out against it, I don't know how much Ovechkin or any other Russian citizen can do that, since it doesn't seem to me Vladimir Putin's a big fan of freedom of speech, and who knows what his security forces will do to people who raise a stink about this war or their families. This is why I say politics needs to be kept out of sports. It's like when Canadian fans were booing the U.S. national anthem during the Four Nations face-off. Okay, I get it where Canadians would be upset over this whole tariff thing. But booing the national anthem ain't going to change anything. Plus, I think it shows an utter lack of class. Plus, none of the U.S. hockey players out there on the ice had anything to do with U.S. government policy. So what are you accomplishing by booing the national anthem at a hockey game? Sports should be our escape from politics. And with that said, congratulations to Alex Ovechkin for breaking Wayne Gretzky's goal-scoring record. And if you think me saying that helps promote Russia's war against Ukraine, well, you're a moron. Anyway, 928-541-1016, number to call here on the Tri-City Sports Roundup. Again, 928-541-1016. Coming up here on our show, hey, man, Bradshaw Mountain Baseball has just been slaying it this past season. They are ranked number 4 in the 4A conference. They are undefeated in Grand Canyon region play, and they had a couple of really, really tight, good games this week against Flagstaff, both of which ended in victories. So we're going to be talking to some of the representatives from this team. We got 2 players in the studio with us. We've got Caden Randall. We've got Jeremy Reynolds. We also have assistant coach Mike Voss. So they're going to be talking about Bradshaw's tremendous season so far. Maybe look ahead to the postseason and see how that's going to go for the Bears. That's on the other side of this break. We'll be back right after this. Welcome back to the Tri-City Sports Roundup. John Rust with you here. And today we have members of the Bradshaw Mountain baseball team, the number 4 ranked Bradshaw Mountain baseball team. When you look at the PowerPoints in the 4A conference, we've got 2 of their players, Caden Randall and Jeremy Reynolds. We also have assistant coach Mike Voss with us today. Guys, good morning. Thanks for being with us here on the show.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
So, Coach, I'm going to start with you here because it has been a tremendous season up to this point for Bradshaw Mountain. Right now, you're sitting at 7-0 in Grand Canyon region play. You had a couple of really good close victories with Flagstaff this week. So, just tell us, what are some of the keys to success for Bradshaw this season?
Most definitely hard work. We've been working hard in the weight room on the field since summer, so these boys all coming together and working together on the field, it's all starting to pay off.
Okay. And Jeremy, start of the season for Bradshaw, did you expect this kind of success for the team at this point, or what?
I knew we were going to be solid. I just didn't know we were going to start hitting as well as we are, because we all knew coming into this season we weren't going to be that good of a hitting team, but we really turned it around, and our approaches have gotten way better. And we're just hitting the ball well. I knew we were going to be solid because I knew coming into the season that we have a solid pitching staff and everything.
And Caden, for yourself, again, you're part of that pitching staff, and when you're not pitching, you're playing third base. But when you're on the mound, and do you feel like maybe there's a little more pressure on you? Say, hey, man, I got to really throw a good game here, and hopefully give our guys just enough, just enough of a cushion to win this thing, or what?
I just know if I pound the zone, we have a great defense behind me, and our offense has been clicking, like Jeremy said, and I know that they'll just make plays behind me if I keep throwing strikes.
Mm-hmm. And again, well, kind of going like at that Mojave game or Mojave doubleheader, I should say, a couple weeks ago. Got to be nice for you and the other pitchers to know that, now that the offense is clicking, I got a lot of run support here, so I don't have a whole lot of pressure on me now.
Yeah, 100%. Especially against a team like Mojave, you just got to go out there and pound the zone. And whenever you're up by 6 or 7 runs, you don't have to do anything crazy. You just got to try to pitch to contact and just try to get outs that way.
Mm-hmm. And, well, Coach, you guys had a couple of blowout wins against Mojave. What were the final scores? 12-2 and 20-1. Not 21, I said 22-1. But that's kind of the exception. The norm, especially in Grand Canyon region play so far, has been some pretty tight games, especially this week against Flagstaff. Tuesday it was a 3-1 win. Then on Thursday it was a 5-3 victory over Flagstaff. So when you see your guys pull out wins like that, what does that do for you, Coach Bundrick, the rest of the team, to really boost their confidence?
It just keeps us going. The more we keep hitting, the more we keep scoring runs, the more we keep winning. We just keep rolling, keep the ball rolling mainly. We're a pretty young team, starting 2 freshmen, I believe. Every once in a while we have a freshman pitcher that goes in and starts. But as long as we continue to do what we're doing, I think we're going to be in the conversation at the end.
And Jeremy, you were actually the winning pitcher in that game Tuesday against Flag, that 3-1 game. So tell us what were some of the things that you were doing in order to really hold down that Flag offense, because I think they only got their 1 run in the 7th inning, and by then almost too little too late.
I just wanted to go out there, obviously get ahead. Just wanted to hit my spots because our pitching Coach Bundy, he calls a lot of our pitches and stuff. I just wanted to make sure I was missing where he was calling it. So if he's setting up outside, I wanted to make sure I missed outside, not over the plate. And that's what I did. And especially towards the later innings, whenever I was doing that, they weren't really hitting off me, and I was just getting a lot of weak contact, because against a good lineup like that, you can't go out there and try to strike everyone out. You just got to try to get outs, like ground balls and everything.
Yeah. And Caden, Thursday was another close one between you guys and Flag. In fact, the Eagles, they were up actually 3-1, and by the 3rd inning, you guys came back and tied the score. And then in the 7th inning, you want to talk about just some great small ball ways to get runs home. Was it? One of your guys got I think it was Ty Young, got an RBI ground out. And I always say, hey, if you're going to make it out, make it a productive out. You can't get any more productive than that. Then he got an insurance run on a passed ball. So talk about what the mood of the bench was like there in the 7th inning when all the breaks seemed to be going your guys' way.
We're a fighting team. We never give up in any game. And we had bases loaded when Ty Young came up, and he just knew he had to put the ball in play to get a run in. And then the next batter, I believe, got hit, and then a pass ball. We scored another run, and we just knew if we were up 2 runs, we were going to be able to hold them down.
Mm-hmm. And again, Coach, you see a game like that, and that's almost like, making your own opportunities, making your own luck there to get yourself in a position to get that go-ahead run and an insurance run there, huh?
Yeah, once we, once the bases got loaded like that, and we had, I think, a ground ball to their second baseman. He ended up bobbling the ball, and then they ended up throwing the ball all over the place, and that kind of gained that run from Garrison Jones, smart base running, watching the ball being thrown around, he just knew when to go. So him scoring that run absolutely helped us out there, and I mean, yeah.
And what do you think that says about this team, this Bradshaw Mountain team, where you get a win like that? It's not like you say you pound Mojave into the ground, but you get a win where maybe not all the breaks are going your way during the game, but at the right moment, at the right time, they start taking advantage of every little mistake the other team makes.
Going into Flagstaff, we knew that it was going to be 2 tough games. We knew it was going to be a scrap. So we had to come out and give our best, and as long as we played to our full potential, then, what happened is exactly what happened. We won, So we just got to stay within our heads and keep going and keep doing what we're doing.
Yeah. And then, of course, another close one. Well, it's the game we always pay attention to, the rivalry game between Prescott and Bradshaw Mountain. And first game ended in a 5-4 victory for Bradshaw. Again, Jeremy, not an easy game. So talk about what were some of the keys to pulling out that one-run victory over Prescott, who's also having a really good season. They're number 6 in the PowerPoint rankings.
So that was just the same thing. Like because I was pitching that game. They're a really tough team. You just can't get behind with them. And same thing. I was just trying to hit my spots mainly because I've mainly been throwing a lot of like fastballs and stuff. But as long as I can locate it, it's like tough to hit, I guess. But coming into that, I mean, we were definitely the underdogs. Like they're very talented, but we work our butts off, and like I just think that just showed how hard we work and like how much we want it, and like we were just all up for that game. It was very intense and like very like a high, like I don't know. Yeah, it was like intense.
Hotly contested.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Caden, just talk about what the mood was like on the team going through that game and finally being able to get that one run to put you guys over the top against Prescott.
I mean, we had a couple clutch hits. Ty Young, a freshman, hit a home run. And, I mean, we were just going into that game. We looked at it as any other game like we would. And the energy was high, and we were just ready to go out there and win. And when we scored that extra run and then Isaiah came in and closed it out, I mean, we just knew. We know going into the 7th inning we got a good closer. So if we're up 1-2 runs, he'll be able to put them down.
Mm-hmm. And, of course, Coach, April 22nd, that's going to be the rematch between Prescott and Bradshaw Mountain. Now, second game was supposed to have taken place 2 days after the first game, but, well, the rotten weather we had during the month of March, that put the kibosh on that game, so that got moved to April 22nd. So second game between Prescott and Bradshaw Mountain. Coach, what are you expecting out of the two teams there?
Dogfight. That first game, like Caden just said, when we have a closer like we did, that game boiled down to a runner on first and third, 2 outs, and you got a great hitter like Nick Martin coming up, and you don't expect him to strike out. And when he did, it was definitely a big surprise, but it shows how much fight we have in us and how much, you bring in a great closer like Isaiah, man, he's definitely going to get the job done. So going into that second game, I mean, it's all about taking it one game at a time. We'll get through Cocoa first, get through Paradise Honors, and then we'll go and visit Prescott and see, start the dogfight.
Okay. Certainly looking forward to that dogfight. And, well, Coach, kind of like I said, the weather during the month of March was kind of miserable. We had that 2-3 week stretch there. Canceled some games. I'm sure it played havoc with your practice schedule. So talk about what that's like, trying to make sure that on those days when you can't get out in the field to practice, you at least do something with the team to try to keep their skills sharp.
To be honest, we haven't missed really any practices. We've practiced in a little bit of snow. We've been out there every day. If we do get snowed out, we hit the weight room. So we're constantly working, constantly getting better, and constantly working with the boys. So there's never a day off.
Okay. Well, folks, in the studio with us today, we have members of the Bradshaw Mountain baseball team. Got assistant coach Mike Voss with us. Also got a couple players, Jeremy Reynolds and Caden Randall. So they're talking about their very, very good season here so far in 2025. Bradshaw Mountain ranked number 4 in the latest PowerPoint rankings. They are also undefeated at 7-0 in Grand Canyon region play. And still some pretty challenging games coming up with Coconino, another one with Prescott. So going to be a great fight to see who gets that region championship when all is said and done. All right, folks. Time for a break here on the Tri-City Sports Roundup. But before we do go to break, it's time to see who shined over the past 7 days as we present the Tri-City Sports Roundup 3 Stars of the Week. Starting with the ladies. Our number 3 star is Lily Anderson of the Embry-Riddle softball team. She had a walk-off sac fly in the Lady Eagles' 8-7 win over Ottawa last Saturday. The number 2 star is Leah Solis of the Embry-Riddle softball team. She drove in 4 runs in the Lady Eagles' 11-3 triumph over Ottawa Monday. And our number 1 star of the week is freshman Kinsey Murphy of the Chino Valley softball team. She got the win, striking out 11 in the Lady Cougars' 10-2 triumph over Parker last Saturday. Now for the guys, our number 3 star is Zane Gall of the Prescott volleyball team. He recorded 30 assists in the Badgers' 3-0 sweep of Marcos Deniza last Friday. The number 2 star is Justin Sherrington of the Yavapai College baseball team. He went 5 for 5 with a home run and 5 RBIs in the Rough Riders' 12-6 win over Central Arizona Tuesday. And our number 1 star of the week is Adrian Sandiford of the Prescott baseball team. He was the winning pitcher with 8 strikeouts and at the plate drove in 3 runs in the Badgers' 10-1 rout of Lee Williams on Tuesday. Congratulations to all our 3 stars of the week. Break time here on the Tri-City Sports Roundup. We will be back with more right after this. Welcome back to the Tri-City Sports Roundup. John Rust with you here. And hey, before we get back to our in-studio guests, we got to send out big-time congratulations to former Embry-Riddle women's basketball coach Becky Burke. Now, she did lead her University at Buffalo team to the WNIT championship last week. And on the heels of that, Becky Burke was hired to be the new head coach for the University of Arizona women's basketball team. So she'll be joining the Big 12. So best of luck to Becky Burke, who, of course, the very first coach in the history history of the Embry-Riddle women's basketball team. Now she is with the U of A. In the studio with me today, we have from the Bradshaw Mountain baseball team players Caden Randall and Jeremy Reynolds and assistant coach Mike Voss. And, well, as we always do when we have athletes in there, it's time for lightning round, which I didn't even brief these two guys on. This is going to come as a complete surprise. Yeah, I love your look there, Caden, like what are we getting into here, man? Okay, so I'm going to show you what lightning round is. I'm going to start with Jeremy here. So, Jeremy, who on Bradshaw Mountain would you say is the best dressed player on the team? Who's the sharp dressed man for the Bears?
Probably Isaiah.
Oh, Isaiah Avila?
Yeah.
What makes him such a sharp dressed guy?
Or actually, I'm gonna change my answer. I'm gonna change it to Donovan.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. I don't know, Coach. You were really nodding your head there when he said Isaiah Avila. So, well, I think we have a little disagreement here between you two.
I mean, I think they both dress pretty good. So I mean, at the end of the day, yeah, it's Isaiah's got the haircut.
So basically, it can be like flip a coin.
Yeah, flip a coin.
Okay. All right. So, Caden, who would you say on Bradshaw is the funniest guy on the team? Who's the team comedian?
I'd have to go Garrison Jones. He's got us all laughing every day.
All right. Now, Jeremy, opposite end. Who's probably the most serious player on the team?
You should ask him that question.
Oh. Neither of you guys know.
Most serious. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that's tough.
Coach, can you break this deadlock here or what?
I would have to say the most serious when it comes to working hard. We got a few, but I'd have to throw Jeremy and Donovan in there.
Oh, okay.
When Jeremy's locked in, he's locked in.
Mm-hmm.
Donovan, he works hard in the weight room, on the field, constantly, so it's definitely between those two.
All right. So, Caden, who's probably the most talkative guy on Bradshaw?
Oh, definitely Garrison.
Yes, absolutely.
Always talking.
Yeah, the guy I would have no problem with an interview.
Yeah.
Okay, now Jeremy, opposite end, who's probably the quietest guy on Bradshaw?
Probably Donovan or Dylan Reed.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, and Dylan, I think he was the winning pitcher in Thursday's game,
Sure
right?
was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. And okay, now Caden, who would you say on Bradshaw Mountain is the one player who can eat the most in one sitting?
Oh, I don't know. We could all low-key eat a lot. I'd have to go Jeremy. He always be eating.
Oh man. So what is like your typical after game meal then, Jeremy?
If we stop at like In-N-Out, I'll have 2 double-doubles and like fries and a strawberry shake, and then if anyone doesn't finish anything, I'll eat it.
So that's got to be a pretty hilarious song, Coach.
100%. It's 100% Jeremy.
Oh man. Well, congratulations on that. Oh man. Well, anyway, Coach, going through your schedule here, I mean, obviously, a whole lot of wins, but you go back to your game against ALA Queen Creek, which I'm sure you guys knew was going to be a battle. In fact, Queen Creek, they're ranked actually number 3 in power points right now. That was a 13-5 loss for you guys. But I don't know if maybe that was maybe a wake-up call or just something like, hey, them's the breaks. You just got to get back at it the next day, because ever since that loss to ALA Queen Creek back on March 22nd, you haven't lost a game since.
Yeah, ALA is definitely a great team. They came in, pitched strong. We hit the ball. Mainly, errors killed us in that game. I think we had 2 drop fly balls in the field, and I think those both scored 2 runs apiece. So, at the end of the day, you take those, take the errors away, take those runs away, and, that was a tighter game than what it really showed. So, I think if we were to play them now, it'd be a whole different ball game.
Yeah, and sometimes I say this when you're dealing with a really good team and they're winning. Sometimes obviously no one likes to lose.
Absolutely.
But sometimes I say, sometimes there can be such a thing as a good loss to maybe just kind of get players rethinking how everything is going with their game, saying like, yeah, you know what, yeah, we've been winning a lot, but we kind of got punched in the face here, and maybe it's time to kind of re-examine how we do things and get a little more serious out there.
Absolutely, it's more of I think of it as winning and learning. You know, there's no winning and losing, is winning and learning. You know, we learn from that, move on from it, go to the next game, fix those mistakes, and make it a better ball game.
Yeah. So, Jeremy, after that ALA Queen Creek loss, what were some of the things going through your head? What were some of the things you were thinking of? We got to do better here in our game after that loss.
I think it was just we got to obviously fix the defensive errors because like defense is probably the most controllable part of like baseball. Like because like pitching and hitting are just so hard, but like you can play defense well. So that was one thing. And then another thing was just like I think even we can go back to like last season. It was just seeing like good pitching. I think that's why we're hitting so well after that game, is because I feel like every time we see good pitching, we start to like hit really good. Like last year we saw we played Saguaro. We saw Cam Nitty who topped like 98 against us, and after that we just started raking. Like I think that really has like helped us like improve, just because. I mean, whenever we see like 87 and we go see like 79 or like 80, it just is completely different and it's way easier to hit.
Okay. And Caden, one of the interesting things about the ALA Queen Creek game, after that loss, about 4 days later, you take on St. Mary's. And that game turned into an absolute dogfight there. The final score was 13-10. You pull out the win there. How much do you think that loss to ALA Queen Creek carried over to that St. Mary's game and just kind of made you guys extra determined to, by whatever means necessary, get that win over the Knights?
Definitely helped us a lot because we wanted to go in there and we wanted to get the win against a pretty good team. St. Mary's is solid. We knew it was going to be a good game, and I mean, we just went down there. We hit really well that game, and we just keep playing good.
Yeah. And again, St. Mary's right now, they are ranked number 11 in the state PowerPoint rankings. So, Coach, just what were your thoughts, Coach Bundrick's thoughts after that win over St. Mary's, where again, it was just tough from beginning to end, and everyone was hitting, everyone was scoring, and your guys still found a way to get a few more than St. Mary's to get that win?
The attitude was keep getting better. You know, keep getting better, move on to the next game. Move on, on to the next.
And, of course, I mean, you move on to the next game, and it was, a 13-3 win over Mingus. Then the next day, a 13-3 win over Post and Butte. So after that St. Mary's game, did you feel like, now the guys are getting it, and now things are starting to click?
Absolutely. Like you said, that ALA game was definitely the kicker. Once we got that game over with, the boys kind of finally started coming together, and, everything started playing for us. Yeah,
because, in fact, I think a couple of your some of your few losses this year, they have been to teams ranked high. ALA Queen Creek, they're ranked number 3 in power points. You also suffered a loss to Saurita earlier in the season, and they're ranked number 10 in power points. So, I mean, now that you face teams like that, and you've had losses, and as you said, maybe you lose, you learned from it. How much do you feel that your guys are better and a lot more prepared for state, having gone up against teams like Saurita, teams like ALA Queen Creek, and now knowing what it's going to take to beat these kind of teams when you get to the postseason?
We got the ball rolling now. We continue to work hard, continue to work together, and, like I said, I believe we'll be in the conversation at the end as long as we keep doing what we're doing.
Okay. And, Jeremy, again, how much do you feel, even though they were losses, how much do you feel taking on teams like Queen Creek, ALA Queen Creek, teams like Saurita, how much do you feel that is going to get you guys absolutely ready for the postseason, which is going to start in just a few weeks?
I think it really helped us because, like Coach Voss was talking about before, our team is just so inexperienced, and like a lot of our guys, like they played decently high level travel ball, but they haven't played against like legit teams like Sawarhita and ALA Queen Creek are. And I think that just gave us the experience. Like we saw the good pitching and everything, and like it just got us that much better. Like even though they were losses, we still learned and like we still got better. I think from those losses.
And well, it's not just good teams there. I mean, you also got good teams in the Grand Canyon region as well. Because again, you had 2 really tough games against Flagstaff this week. You had another tough game against Prescott. You're probably going to have another tough game against Prescott on the 22nd. I'm sure Coconino is pretty good. So again, Caden, how much do you feel playing in a pretty competitive region like Grand Canyon is going to get you guys ready for when you hit state?
I think it's good for us to play good teams, and our region's always been pretty good. And, I mean, we're going to play these teams in the playoffs. They're all going to be good when it comes to that time. And if we have the experience playing those type of good teams, we'll be ready.
Okay, so Jeremy, what got you interested in playing baseball?
I don't know, to be honest. I've just played since I was like 2.5.
So basically, it's just always been in your blood, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, along with baseball, you're also on the Bradshaw Mountain boys golf team, following in the footsteps of your brother Andrew. I believe actually was a section champ a few years ago.
Yeah. So that was a fun season. We actually did really good at state. I got 21st individually. I shot 2 under and then 4 over the second day. But it's just it was a fun season, I guess.
Mm-hmm. And we'll talk about the difference in mentality between playing baseball and playing golf.
Honestly, I don't look at them that different. Especially for either one, I just like going into like tournaments or games. I just look at all the hard work I put and all the the process to get there. And I just let my hard work do the talking, and I'm not nervous, honestly, because I know I've worked hard enough where I'm not. If I do mess up, it is what it is. I'll just go back the next day and get better.
Okay. And Caden, what about you? What got you interested in baseball?
I've always played since I was a little boy. My sister, she played softball at Bradshaw Mountain High School, and she went on to play D1 at Utah Tech.
Okay.
And I just always followed in her footsteps.
Okay. And I believe you did play basketball briefly for Bradshaw, right?
Yeah, I did my freshman year.
Okay. And we talked about fashion, who's the most fashionable guy on Bradshaw. Well, I definitely got to commend you on your ball cap there. For those of you watching our live stream on Facebook or YouTube, you may not be able to see it because he's got his sunglasses on top. Take the sunglasses off your cap and show them. Yep. Classic Florida Marlins logo there, and I think that's from one of their World Championship teams, right?
Yes, it is.
So how did you come about getting that cap?
I just really like the way it looks. I love the logo and just everything about it.
Honestly, I think I prefer that logo to the new multi-technicolor logo they have there.
Me too.
I don't know why. Sometimes those teams, they change their logos. I know for a lot of it, it's the ka-ching here, but it's like when you got a good logo, just stick with it. Well, kind of like Jeremy's got the Arizona Diamondbacks logo, and I got to tell you, I still like the purple and green. I don't know about you, Jeremy.
Yeah. It's whatever.
What about you, Coach? Prefer the new D-backs logo, or you prefer the old purple and green classic?
I think I'd go the purple and green classic.
Yep. Yeah, it's kind of like I was really happy for their last year in Arizona, when the Coyotes brought back the Kachino logo. Yeah, I really dug that one. Yep. And then of course they moved up to Utah and became the Hockey Club.
Yeah.
I really hope they change their name there and get something that's not lame.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, Coach, as I said, we were talking about the upcoming game with Prescott, but before then, you got three pretty important games coming up. You got 2 with Coconino come next week. So just tell us your thoughts on how you think that series is going to go down.
I think it's going to go pretty good. Like we've talked about, the boys have really come together since that loss against ALA. So I think we're definitely going to come out. We're going to work hard, and we're going to come out with the wins.
Yeah, and then right after that, you actually go out of the region for a bit. You play Paradise Honors for a game, and even though that's not a region game, still very important because you still got power points.
Absolutely.
You gotta accumulate there.
Absolutely.
So what kind of team do you expect out of Paradise Honors?
We expect them to come out and play some ball. One thing I think as long as we eliminate all of our small mistakes and clean up all the small stuff, I think absolutely the same thing as Coco. I think we'll come out with a good victory.
Okay. And Jeremy, again, you look at how things are going with Bradshaw Mountain, because you and Caden, you're both seniors, but there are a lot of young guys on this team. We talked about Ty Young. He's just a freshman. Drew Strader is another one. He's a freshman. Both of them have been having good seasons. You also got a few other guys on the team who are underclassmen. Dylan Lockwood, another one. Patel, another one. So as you and Caden are set to get your diplomas, leave Bradshaw Mountain, do you feel that this program is still going to be strong once you guys are gone?
Yeah, 100%. We just have a lot of good young guys. Like, I mean, coming into last year, I mean, his cousin is even one guy who's really good. He's an underclassman. They just all played together. Like, they're all a team already. And as they continue to grow and get better and, like, work hard, they'll be pretty good. I think they're, like, senior, junior year.
Yeah. And, Caden, I think sometimes it's always tough when you have, like, a really big mix of upperclassmen and underclassmen on the same team, and there's always the danger of, getting into cliques and everything. Do you feel that, considering the success you guys have had, do you feel like you've avoided that and, like, hey, it doesn't matter, I'm a senior, this guy's a freshman, we're all on the same team?
We've definitely avoided it. Most of us have known each other for a long time, and I think we're just all super close. And the seniors that we have, they're very experienced, so it really balances out.
All right. Well, folks, we are coming up to the end of our show here, and I want to thank Caden Randall and Jeremy Reynolds and assistant coach Mike Voss for joining us here on the Tri-City Sports Roundup, and just letting everyone know what a great season that Bradshaw Mountain has had, is having, I should say. Number 4 ranked team in the 4A conference and undefeated in Grand Canyon region play, and a lot of big games coming up for them over the next couple weeks. 2 with Coconino next Tuesday and Thursday, and then on April 22nd, over at Prescott High School, they'll be taking on the Badgers in a renewal of that rivalry. Guys, thank you very much for joining us here in the studio, and best of luck the rest of the way.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
All right. Well, again, folks, that's going to do it for our show. But we've got our slate of local talk coming up here on KYCA. Following this show, you've got Healthline with Dr. David Hancock. Then coming up at 10, it is Drive Time AZ with all your automotive needs answered. And then at 11 o'clock, we've got Eye on Prescott. So all your local talk right here on KYCA for this Saturday morning. Thank you very much for joining us here on the show. I'm John Rust, and I will see you next week.